Oh, check her out. Her.
Mirror effect. Welcome, welcome. Go check out, see if we're even centered. How's everyone doing tonight? It's been a little bit of a delay, a little bit of hiatus. Got some ads going.
Sorry. Yeah, we're up. Is it up?
We're good?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's make sure I got a good picture of.
We've done it again.
We've managed to put our live broadcast from a basement in Kensington, Maryland.
It amazes me every week.
All right, you guys ready to get started here?
Yeah, are they? Are they ready to get started? I think they are too.
We're about ready. We're gonna make sure we're all on camera.
Let's see who's first in.
All right, we're talking about it. Want to hear it? Here it goes. Welcome to Tuesday night. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangolo. He's Kevin Ricca.
Man, I'm so excited to be back. It's been a little bit of a week off. This is our Christmas holiday show. We got a big present for you guys, all wrapped up, ready to rock and roll.
He's Tim Strachan.
Man, it has felt like a while since we've been down here. It's only been a week. Sorry about that. Things get in the way during the Christmas season, but we got a lot of stuff to talk about, and I'm looking forward to it. It's great to be back in the basement, man.
He's Tevin Campbell. This is the WCAC Spectacular, and it has been a spectacular season of basketball. Even thus far, we do have a couple finals from the WCAC season that we've been able to cover. We were out for a couple girls basketball games last Thursday night. We saw Riverdale beat St. Francis, and we saw the Bishop McNamara Mustangs beat defending national champion New Hope.
Ooh, big W for the Mustangs.
It was a lot of fun to be out at the Family Life Center in Kettering, at the First Baptist Church of Glen Arden. Pretty cool arena. I'm sure you guys played in many arenas on a Thursday night where literally you couldn't inbound the ball because someone was standing within a millimeter of the line.
Oh, man.
And there was nothing they could do about it. Nothing. The players couldn't really even complain. It was just wall-to-wall madness. It was a cool atmosphere. The best girls high school basketball, which I highly encourage folks to check out. It's a awesome brand of basketball with what they're playing at the girls level in high school in these parts. So we're going to make sure
none better.
You won't not see it because of us, because we'll be bringing it to you for the next few months, leading all the way up to the WCAC championship at American University in late February, I believe.
It'll be here before we know it. You know that, right?
There's been a few other things going on in the WCAC, but we'll mix it in. But the holidays are upon us. The best part about the holidays, in or out of the WCAC, we happen to be in the WCAC, is reconnecting with folks from around the league and making sure that people know about all the good things that folks from the WCAC are doing. And that's a perfect opportunity to bring in our guests for this evening. And for that, we'll turn it over to our own Michael Buffer.
I mean, I'm not certain if anyone else from the league is doing as many good things as this gentleman is. I might be biased because this is my guy, my friend, my teammate, as Gary Rand would say, my brother for life. Gonzaga Class of 95. More importantly in my heart, Catholic University, class of 99.
I was going to say, that sounded weird for a second.
Hey, but listen, that's what we're doing here, man. And we got an All-American, two-time wide receiver, a couple 1,000-yard seasons under his belt, top 3 in the nation in receptions and yardage per game. My man had 186 receptions, 2,726 yards, and 22 touchdowns. I call him a self-made All-American. The athletic director and head coach of the back-to-back DC State champs, 4-time state champion, Friendship Collegiate Academy Knights. Here's your DCSAA 2019 Coach of the Year, my guy Mike Hunter. How you doing, Mike?
What's going on, Kevin?
Oh,
Good
man.
to be on.
Well, I'm happy to be talking to you, my friend. It's a little boring with these two guys all the time. I'm trying to mix it up a little bit.
I've known this man for 44 years, and I've never gotten any kind of introduction like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. I had to think about what we were talking about.
Come on. Once I said 1-8 before the 6, you knew exactly who I was talking about. Actually, knowing the humble man that Mike Hunter is, he probably had no idea what I was talking about. It's kind of how he goes about his business. And, when they say the team reflects the personality of the coach, none more so than you, Coach. How do you feel about me saying something like that? Is that all right for me to say?
Yeah, I'm real proud of the team's accomplishments and stuff like that, and we go way back to the days I watched you and Jeff light people up, and I was just the other guy on the other side, just hoping to get a bone thrown my way every once in a while.
Yeah, well, I promise you this: after we were done lighting it up, we were old timers, and that's when you kindled that flame yourself, my man. Back-to-back seasons of killing it yourself and having an unbelievable career at Catholic. And I like to say this, Mike. You came to Catholic, and you said it yourself. You were not tearing it up at the high school level, and I think you were a 16-year-old freshman in college, man. I mean, that's right, correct? You were completely. I think you must have skipped a grade. Your big brain got in the way, and you were doing ridiculous stuff academically. But I think taking that year off and coming back at one point. Speaking with our buddy Jeff, you decided I'm going to be the man. I'm going to be the best wide receiver in the country. I've seen it done. I'm going to do it myself. And Jeff and I were talking about that might have something to do with the passion that you've taken and used as the athletic director and head football coach at this ridiculous program that you've built and built up here at Friendship Academy on Minnesota Ave.
Yeah, just being a Catholic with guys like you and Jeff. You guys paved the way, and it was once you guys moved on, there was a lot of people asking, like, what are we going to do? Who's going to be the guy? So I took that as the opportunity for me to step up and just kind of fill in the footsteps that Jeff left, and hopefully I did a good job at it. And that's what we talk about at Friendship. I talk about those times with our guys about how you don't have to be the biggest name or anything like that. Just go about doing your work every day. And it'll work out for you in the end.
So wait, did I hear correctly that you played in Kevin's senior year at Catholic? Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
When he was at his most productive, not just on the field, but off the field? I mean, how did you survive that season? That's kind of my understanding anyways, is that it was some pretty fun days at Catholic University.
Oh, yeah, we had a good time. And then Sammy Briggs, another WCAC guy, was one of our wideouts. So, between Jeff, Kevin, myself, and Sammy, we just had a lot of fun out on the field. And, Jeff caught most of the passes. And, Sammy and I, we got out when we could, but it was just fun because it was like a brotherhood.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Everyone I threw the ball was from the league. I didn't have to worry about much, to tell you the truth.
All those guys you just mentioned, you keep saying Jeff. For those that don't know, Jeff Clay, class of 94.
94.
From Gonzaga. That's what I'm really interested to go back a little bit more before we get to the Catholic stuff and the real meat of that. But it's where you grew up and how you got to Gonzaga and your experience there being sandwiched between so many other good wide receivers in your time there at Gonzaga.
Well, yeah, at Gonzaga, again, you had Malcolm, you had Jeff, some other guys that didn't play college football, but they went on to play college basketball, like Akbar Waheed, who's now coaching at Georgetown.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Rozier, who's coaching at Gonzaga now, went on to play at William and Mary. So, there was a lot of talent there. And just looking back on it, I probably didn't do everything I was supposed to do in high school to be mentioned with those guys. But for some reason, Coach Clark up at Catholic saw something in me and gave me a shot. And I just wanted to take advantage of it.
Well, a man that we all tip our cap to, Mike, he took a shot on all of us, man. I was walking around on one leg, had a terrible haircut, and gained about 20 pounds. I didn't know what was going on. Jeff was frustrated about what he was doing and where he didn't get to go, and I remember having those feelings. And, man, didn't he just kind of bring us all together, that master plan of his while he wiped the mustache? He believed in us. He believed in our background in this league. And while I'm at it, let's not forget Tony Faison, our starting left tackle. McNamara High School,
Mustache.
Rob Brown, starting right guard, St. John's, Johnny Jones, third down back, Bishop O'Connell. Coach Clark knew exactly where to go and where the talent was. But, I love the fact that, he had eyes on you, Mike, and saw something big because, right away, I know it was frustrating for you, but one day we're all sitting there at practice, and Mike goes up for a fade, and it looked like Lynn Swan leapt from the 40 and landed at about the 31 and came down with it. And everyone turned around and went, oh. That's what he was talking about. And I don't know if you remember that exact play, Mike, but you remember making some of those big-time plays at practice in front of all these guys, the eye-openers where the defense and the offense get together and go, who was that guy? We didn't see that yesterday, and that was big time, Mike. But a lot of what we're going to talk about tonight is exactly where you've come from, man. I think you are a shining star for the District of Columbia, and that has nothing to do with football, my man. It's about who you are. A young man that grew up in Sursum Corda, right there next to Gonzaga. And it was not an easy place to grow up, and I'll let you talk about that. But during the late '80s, early '90s, in the height of the city's violence, and during the crack epidemic, man, Mike, talk a little bit about how that shaped you coming up in the district.
Yeah, just growing up in the shadows of Gonzaga, my mom always had the idea that one of her sons was going to go to Gonzaga and I guess go on a different path, so to speak. And I was the youngest of two boys. Somehow my brother escaped and was able to go to, the neighborhood school, Dunbar, with all of our friends. So I guess you can say I was trapped into going to Gonzaga, but it was probably one of the best decisions she's ever made for me, because I met so many wonderful people and got to see, things, as they say, on the other side of the tracks, and, open my eyes up to the potential that I could have. And, I just had to go after it and make as much of it as I could.
Which is exactly what you're doing as the head football coach for the Knights right now, opening up these young men's eyes to a different viewpoint. I know that, I'm familiar with Ward 7 down there on Minnesota Avenue. I know since April that the homicide rate has increased 300%. I also know that they've got a guy down there named Mike Hunter who they can look up to, who sets a tremendous example, who's seen all parts of Washington, D.C. and understands exactly what it takes to get these guys. What do we talk about there? What do you talk about down there? In and out of college. I love that, man. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, the focus, and, I can't take all the credit for it, but the focus of Friendship as a school is to send, the kids from Ward 7 and Ward 8 to college. I think our school does a tremendous job of promoting college. And one thing that a lot of people don't know is just to graduate from Friendship, you have to be accepted into 3 colleges.
Wow.
So that's a graduation requirement. So, we just took the athletic side of that and said, hey, we can use some of these guys' talents to help pay for college now. And, it was kind of like a perfect marriage. And, we've been trying to do that for the last 13 years.
Now, what brought you there, though? What was it that got you from Catholic? Because we talked about your days at Catholic and playing, but what got you to Friendship Collegiate? And I know my man Azar has played a role in that as well.
So when I was coaching at Catholic, and I did a year up at Howard, and just through the recruiting time, I would always go over to Friendship to talk with Azar, because we were friends from high school, from playing against each other in high school, and he was just getting the program started at Friendship, and he would always be like, man, you should come and help me get this program started, and we can do big things and all of this stuff. So when we got fired at Howard, it was like, hey, well, let's give it a try. I'll come around for a year or two, help you get it going, and then I'll be on my way. And 13 years later, I'm still at Friendship, and he's gone off to bigger, better things.
He's off at Massachusetts with a stop at Maryland. But the program is not, as you like to talk about sometimes, it's not even really about football. And the school itself is set up to do, as you had just explained, needing three acceptances to graduate. You guys are doing things so much bigger than that. Talk about that and the philosophy that you guys have there.
Like I said, the school's purpose is to give kids from Ward 7, or just kids in D.C. in general, an opportunity to go to college. So there's a lot of things outside of the athletic field that they do that prepare kids for college. So, probably about 16, 17 years ago, Azar approached them about starting football and really being serious about it. And, they invested a little bit in it. But, when I got there, we started to do some things a little different. I used kind of the college experience I had to help to promote the program to other universities and things like that. And we started to get some foot traffic in from universities. And once the powers to be, the administration started seeing that, they started to put a little more effort into building the program. And, now, we have built this program that, you name it, that university has probably been through there at some point to recruit one of the kids. And people come there with the expectations of going to college, not just playing high school football.
You got the stuff going on in the school, but the team has been pretty darn good. Talking about
That's a fact.
I just like your defensive numbers. I was talking to Kevin about it before the show, Mike. Allowed 0 points combined in 2018 and 2019 in 4 playoff games. That's pretty awesome. We saw what you guys did against top WCAC talent and into Matthew and Good Counsel this year. I think what I want to hear about is who are these Beach Boys we hear all about?
So the name Beach Boy came along because of our practice field. It's a field right behind the school, and it's pretty much just sand and rock. So you may find a patch of grass every here and there. So we had a guy out doing a story one day, and he was like, "Man, this is all sand. It looks kind of like a beach." And the kids kind of took to it, and the name stuck around for a little while. Internally, just in house, and then maybe about 5 years ago, the kids started using it a lot more on their Twitter and social media, and then it just kind of exploded to become the Beach Boys.
I love
That's
it.
awesome.
I'm a huge fan. I've heard Mike talking about it. There's no weight room. There's no true practice facility. But what they do have, what Mike just talked about, is incredible. And I got a guy like Mike, and I know you're not going to take all the credit yourself, and you can't. And I know your staff and the professionals lined up in that building are all there, and everyone's on the same page. I've heard a lot of your speeches. Man, you got me a little choked up today watching your signing day stuff every year, Mike. It's so inspirational to watch these young men just on the football team. I know there's other athletes at the school, but from what I've seen on the football team that have been with you for 6 years, it's so inspirational to listen to them talk. All these big, tough guys that look like they mean business. Each one of them tends to drop a tear or two before they're done talking about the faculty, the coaching staff, yourself, or their family. And it's what an amazing event that is every year. Your championship, correct?
Yep, that's our championship. For the first 7 years that I was at Friendship, we weren't even eligible for a championship. We're independent, not playing in the conference, so we didn't play for a championship. We played, our 10-game regular season, and that was kind of it. So we always made it about signing day and getting as many kids as we possibly could to college on whether it be a full scholarship, a partial scholarship, an academic scholarship, whatever it is, to try to reduce the cost of college because, as you guys know, and you'll find out pretty soon when your kids start applying to school, college is expensive these days. So, if a guy has a talent or he performs well in the classroom, I feel like it's our duty to make sure that they can get to college, free or at least reduced cost.
And I'm football has always been a very important game to me personally in my life and the challenges and adversities that I've faced and what I attribute having learned from playing the game and just being a part of the game. And I know that that's something that you and the school has and that football itself lends to young people today and helping them become not just great football players, but more rounded individuals and successful in whatever it is they want to do. And just talk a little bit about that and how that plays a part in your job, not just as a football coach, but as an athletic director as well.
Yeah, well, we talk to the kids all the time about, what we are doing is bigger than football. My job as a man who grew up in the city is to help other young men become fathers, become whatever professional thing they want to become, a doctor, a lawyer, a professional athlete, a teacher, whatever it may be, that's my job. I owe it to the younger generation because someone helped me. We talk about how important football is. Football is just my avenue or my
Correct.
vehicle that I use. If I happen to be passionate about chemistry, I probably will be in the lab somewhere trying to grab some kids from the city to teach them about that stuff. We talked about it earlier. I feel like Coach Clark gave me a shot at Catholic that no one else would have given me.
Mm-hmm.
So, I want to take that. And even as coaching, he gave me my first coaching job.
Yep.
And I definitely wasn't qualified, never even thought about being a coach. But again, he saw something in me that I probably didn't see in myself. And, we just took it and, even to this day, I call him when I run into a problem or an issue and just say, hey, I need help. I need some advice. What should I do? And he's always there for me. So, I want to be there for these kids. And, we talk about not having a field, not having a weight room or anything like that, not even having lines on the field that we practice on. So, being a wide receiver trying to run a 10-yard route, we're guessing what the 10 yards are. Or DB playing on the hash mark. We don't have a hash mark on the practice field. So, but we turn that into real life because at some point you're going to be someone's father. You're going to be someone's husband. And your kids and your wives, they don't want to hear any excuses. They want to know, where's the food? Are you paying the light bill this month? Or, whatever it is. And you got to find a way to get it done. And, that's pretty much the basis of our program.
I'm blown away. I'm blown away. I mean, I'm already a fan because of you, but, delving into all this, how incredible is that?
Yeah.
I just want to, smack some of these young kids we're coaching out there. Oh, sorry we're not practicing on the artificial turf field tonight, guys. We got to go practice on the other line field that has real grass.
Yeah.
Oh, it puts a little perspective in it.
Yes.
And the way, Mike, the way you talk about it, taking that to the real world, that's just so big time. I'm going to go out. I'm going to be in the dark tonight trying to figure out how to run a 10-yard hook.
And we're gonna. By the way, I want to make sure we J.I. Holdup, who has joined us this evening. I don't know who it is. I don't know who it is, but I know that when you said that you had gained 20 pounds freshman year or whenever Tom Clark took it, he was quick to add maybe closer to 30.
Oh, well, round and around we go, my man, Big Bump. I'm telling you, Big Bump and I might have had a conversation or two today, Mike. I'm just gonna say that before I keep talking. Jaron Holdup, our former teammate at Catholic. Carroll, class of 95, another Catholic Cardinal, class of 99, stud defender off the edge.
Hilarious.
Just a great guy. Mike and Jen are college roommates, the best of friends. They both have twin daughters. I mean, in this in this crazy world we live in, all these things happen. But, he might have told me that you bought a car at one point, Mike, at the auction, and we're a little late to meet up with him. I don't think this car had any brakes, gentlemen. Down on North Capitol Street, Mike, was that true? What kind of car was it?
Yeah, I don't remember what model car it was, but Bump took me to the auction about a car, and I probably had the car for maybe about 48 hours, and the brakes went out, and got into a pretty bad car accident on North Capitol Street. Luckily, no one was seriously injured, but that taught me a lesson that from now on, I'll be going to the dealership for all my cars.
But it had brakes when you bought it.
Yeah, but they went out pretty quick.
They pulled up on you, right? And they said, I think the loudspeaker said, "Tevin Campbell, please pull over." And you said, "But there's no brakes." Is even half of that true? Which part of that's true?
They thought I was trying to run away from them, but I couldn't stop. So, once we got, to a stop, they took me downtown, and, of course, I name dropped. So I told them I knew Jeff Clay's dad, Jeff Clay Sr. Because he's my teammate's father,
It's all about who you know, Mike.
And got things done. So.
Being told it was an Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme.
Sounds about right.
There will be no hotel room stories on the road being told this evening. Man. I've also received information from my wife to let sleeping dogs lie. So we're gonna leave that in the cup. So
Mike, you staying local for the holidays? Are you doing any traveling?
No, I'll be here. My daughters, they're both sophomores in college now, so that tells you, my life right now. So they'll be home for the holidays, and I'll get to spend some time with them.
That's
Man,
awesome.
That is great.
It's like the holiday season changes as like your life cycle changes. That must be just awesome. To
That's
have
true.
have the sophomores in college home for the holidays. I mean, you and I, we all have young kids. At some point in time, that's going to be us. Waiting
Although
for our kids to
I
come home
drove
for the
my
holidays.
mom and my brothers drove my mom nuts when we came home for
Yeah,
the
I bet you
holidays.
I was going to say, I knew the Grinch was going to have
I
something
know.
for this
I
situation.
know.
Well, enjoy it while your kids are young. 'Cause once they get to this age, I may see them for a little while during the holidays, but most of the time they don't want anything to do with me. They're
Yeah.
hanging with their friends
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So,
I win in keeping them young, buddy. That for sure. With my 10-month-old, that's
Yeah, back to the starting line.
yeah, back to the starting line for sure.
Well, hey, Mike, real quick, just before I forget, not having a weight room at Friendship right now, obviously you're a little bit used to it because I'm aware that we did not have a weight room at Catholic University. So that must have been an easier transition for you.
They had one. You just never knew where it was.
No, the question was for Mike. I specifically asked Mike Hunter, coach, the question.
So what we have a classroom where we got a few racks in there where we can bench and squat, and we take weights out in the hallway, and we make it happen. And honestly, a lot of our kids, they don't know anything different, so we don't allow them to make excuses. We're going to play a competitive schedule, so you got to get in here and make it work. So we do what we can, and hopefully it shows up in August and September.
I love that answer. Also, the question, I was just trying to stir the pot because I never really saw you in the weight room, Mike. But I do understand that you were there.
I was sneaking there once in a while. Well, once Coach Fritz got in there, he wouldn't let you get away without being in the weight room. So,
Yeah.
I can see in my first 2 years, I probably wasn't, the first guy in the weight room, but
Mike,
those last 2 years, he was a maniac.
yeah, I wasn't trying to bust you up there. I never went to the weight room.
He wasn't there either, Mike. You knew that.
Shocking.
Don't fall
I'm
into
gonna
his
say
trap.
Those first 2 years, the weight room wasn't really mandatory.
No, it wasn't. No,
But
it wasn't.
when Chris got there, because I think his first year I tried to make some excuses like, hey, I got class, I can't make it during the workout times. He was like, well, I'll see you at 7 a.m.
Craig Fitzgerald, probably the best weight training assistant in the nation,
Yep.
making a ton of money doing what he does. His first gig was at Catholic University with Mike and I. I think Mike has done great.
Different results.
I think
yeah,
Mike's done
different
great.
results.
Speaking for the both of us, Mike has done a hell of a job.
He wasn't.
yes.
Your name wasn't going down as a reference on a whole lot of job applications as Mike. Yes, Kevin.
Coach Fitz was dumbfounded when he saw my first day. He was
The great thing about him is, he's off doing things. He's been in the NFL, major colleges, but every time I call him and need help with our weight room, he always answers the phone and helps me out.
That's
So,
incredible. That's Fitz.
It's guys like that I probably will never get any credit for our program, but, I definitely remember every time he answered the phone for me.
Mike, those are two men who I can make a phone call to and have based on anything in life. Like you said, not football related, anything that is football related, anything in between. Both of those guys have been the example that we've looked towards our entire lives since, this happened more than half my life ago. The last time I laced up, football cleats was more than half my life ago. And these are guys that are still very influential. We're sitting here talking about it, both of us tonight. I know what a humble guy you are, and I do know that you realize that you are the Coach Clark and the Coach Fitz to hundreds and hundreds of young men and will be forever. And that's why we're so proud to have you on tonight. And, man, I'm so proud of you. One of the quotes I read from you was, "Be the change we need in our communities. And remember to chase your dreams." Well, Mike, you've been the man that has been the change in our communities. You've chased your dreams. I remember right out of college, you were going to be a probation officer. I'm certain you would have been a hell of a probation officer. But I remember thinking like, man, Mike, I just kind of saw something else. And then I guess Coach Clark reached out, and this whole coaching thing kicked off. And, you could have gone higher and higher and higher, and you found your calling right here, right in the district, right at home base, right where you're from. I think that is just so amazing, and that's why I told these guys, this is one of DC's finest sons and brightest stars as a human being. Yep. We're sitting here goofing around a little bit, but I'm not blowing smoke, man. That's exactly how I feel. I'm proud to be your guy. I'm proud to be part of your football family, and proud to be your teammate for life, man.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate it, man. And we're all doing what we're called to do. And these guys at Friendship gave me an opportunity. And, like I said in the beginning, I just want to give back because someone gave me an opportunity. And I think these guys definitely deserve it.
Well, you're certainly a great example of men for others in how you were brought up there at Gonzaga. And now you're doing it for so many other people, man. Really appreciate you, man.
Hey,
well, I appreciate you guys having me on, man.
And football-wise, I know we've skated away from it, but congratulations on being the DCSAA
That's right.
Coach of the Year. Congratulations to your guys. I know in the All-Met today, Ahmed Bailey, a senior defensive end with 21 sacks.
Whoa.
I mean, that's how that's why they average 8 points a game against you guys. Your defense is filthy. Mark Lawton, a second team All-Met senior O-lineman, and Ryan Jones, a junior linebacker. Shout out to those guys coming from the Knights, getting some love in the Washington Post today. And I guess it wasn't in the paper yet. I guess that was the online stuff. But I know you have a bunch of guys that were on the All League. I know. Well, we say the paper, but I don't want to sound like that. I just, these guys deserve, the story we just listened to tonight. If you're listening to this and you're from one of these programs and you're one of these kids that transfers when one time something goes wrong or a parent is giving a hard time to the coach because, something didn't happen 1 second of practice. Take a good look at things. Mm-hmm. Gain a little bit of perspective. Listen to this show again, and maybe that'll center you a tad bit, and you can understand what it's all really about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm very proud of those guys, and you might have seen it even on my Twitter where I felt like we should have had a few more guys deserving of all league or all Met. But I know you got to spread the love around because there's some other deserving kids in the city, and the Coach of the Year thing. Yeah, only my name is mentioned, but definitely my staff does a great job, and and I always tell our staff that our job is to get in the kids' way and mess up the game because more coaches lose games than they actually win games. So, let the kids go out and have fun and play hard, and that's what they do.
Yeah, and apparently they stopped the other team from scoring a majority of the time because those numbers are sick.
It's helpful. It's a helpful stat. 8 points a game, not too shabby. And they play against WCAC teams. We keep your eyes open. You might get a chance to see them. Maybe even here.
We try to get your counsel let us in the door this year, Mike.
Yeah.
We're going to figure something out. We got to get the Beach Boys. We got to get the Beach Boys on First Amendment sooner than later. That's a fact.
Absolutely.
Well, next year we're already scheduled to play DeMatha and play Good Counsel, and we're working on another game with one of the top 4 WCACs. So hopefully
to be
one
determined.
of those games we can get it done.
A little teaser there.
That sounds great,
awesome.
and we would love nothing more. That would be awesome to put a shine on that day.
Be a great day of DC football. Listen, Mike, thank you so much for all the things that you're up to. Thanks for being a part of our Tuesday night, and thanks for, I guess, just making the WCAC look so darn good. We say it all the time, and we could probably tie a lot of great things to the WCAC, but you do it better than anything we could say or do. So thank you so much for that, and we want to wish you and your family a very, very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holiday Season, and stay safe. And thank you so much.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate you guys having me on, and want to wish all of you and your families a happy holidays, and definitely many blessings in the new year. And hopefully we can get back together, and I can come to the basement to do a live show.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's happening.
The invitation's there.
The door is open. You're nothing but class, Coach, an incredible role model. Hey, thanks for being my guy after all these years, man. You still haven't cut me loose. I'm still hanging on by a thread, and I appreciate it. My man, we go way back, and nothing but great memories, Mike. Keep them going. Keep doing your thing down there.
And before we end, I want to say congratulations, Kevin, on your Hall of Fame. And I can't wait for the induction ceremony, man. I'm going to be there.
It's gonna
I'm
be
told
fun.
it'll be a very tame affair that evening with hardly any real true antics at all, shenanigans or otherwise.
Well, it's going to be fun, but, like Mike says, I'm going to go with Coach Hunter on this one. It's not all about football on that day. That crew of guys, including Mike and Jeff and Big Bump and a bunch of the guys that are going to be all around and, all the other guys in the basketball squad. Maloney's going in, Pat Maloney. I am so excited to hang out with my guys that day then, and it wouldn't be happening if it wasn't for you guys. And thanks for that, Mike. Appreciate you, bud.
And
No problem.
And all you guys who are checking us out tonight who know this guy who we've been talking to this evening, get the word out. Let him know. Let him know what he's up to. Let him know what all the good, fine people he's impacting. I see Brian Sanders. I see J.I. Holdup. AJH.
Sammy Briggs, if you're out there, I didn't forget you, buddy.
Jeff Clay, all you guys, thank you so much. We will be back again at an undetermined date as of yet. I don't know. I'm guessing we probably won't be doing this show on Christmas Eve. But we will be doing it soon, and we will let you know. Click on the logo for a free subscription. It'll be the easiest way to find out when we do go live. Until then, he's Tim Strachan.
Tonight was a great example of why you stay grounded and be rounded.
He's Kevin Ricka.
And I say be a good sport, but until next week, be like Mike Hunter.
That's true.
On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangolo, and this was the WCAC Spectacular. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Mike.
Mike, man, appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Mike. Merry Christmas, my man.
Same to you.
Thanks, bud.